UPI, Unified Payments Interface. That's one of the massive, I could call one of the best innovation happened in India.
Let's be honest, rural India still has to come a long way to reach urban India when it comes to many things. Is it okay for school system or administration to incorporate AI or prompt engineering very early, like when we start computer science courses in school?
AI is like a paintbrush in the hand of a kid. It's not replacing your creativity.
While we were still trying to learn something from ChatGPT or trying to get use of it, there was deep fake thrown on our faces, and we're like, what is this?
You should not blindly believe it. Apply critical thinking.
Nowadays, even my friends, I know people who go to ChatGPT for their problems, even when they go through a heartbreak or something. Do you think that that is something that should be not done? We are taking AI a little too far.
I embrace that.
The time that I had with my father is gone suddenly.
A decade ago, when they want my time, I was not giving. When I need their time, they are not giving. This is what the parent-child relationship always all about.
As AI takes a huge part in our lives, but are we really equipping them with responsible way and wise way to use that? Our guest today, Mr. Bala Prasad Pedigari, will decode that for us. A mentor, a visionary who has seen it all, who has been a crucial part of this revolution. So please join me in welcoming him. Hello, sir. Welcome to the Hans India. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for hosting me today. I'm pretty good. And how are you doing?
I'm good too. Before we jump into AI and everything, I want to know from you, what does innovation mean in today's world for you?
See, for me, innovation is not about inventing something new. For me, innovation is something which can really do a meaningful thing with a purpose. Say, for an instance, if a student comes forward and says that I have an idea to convert the drainage water into a drinking water, that's a purpose. That's something you want to do, is something new. But innovation is also about doing it at scale. How can you really drive your purpose at a scale, leveraging the technology? That could make big thing. That's what I feel strongly, that innovation is all about doing something with a purpose.
So please guide us how AI driven innovations are laying a foundation for digital India.
You see that India Stack has got the identity layer in the form of our Aadhaar card. Second, we have the data layer where we exchange the data for the healthcare departments and others. Third is about the payment layer, UPI, Unified Payments Interface. That's one of the massive change which has brought, I could call one of the best innovation happened in India, primarily because it has brought the inclusivity of and participation of many Indians coming together. Otherwise, it was like a digital divide, where I call urban sector of people are very much privileged to use innovation, some of the technologies, but rural people were not participating in that. But UPI is one such kind of a concept, really brought everyone together. Today, you see, right from the rich person to the poorest person has got bank account because of the Jan Dhan Yojana. Second thing, now they got a mobile device linked with your Aadhaar card. Third, they can do transactions using UPI. That's a basic economical change which Digital India brought today.
I love how you brought this up very early in our conversation, how rural India is also, it's not like that only people from tier 1 cities are there when it comes to AI or digital transformation. Even rural India is catching up. Because sometimes I fear, let's be honest, rural India still has to come a long way to reach urban India when it comes to many things, technology, infrastructure. But this is one gateway where we all are one, right? So, do you still think that we are on the same level, or there are little loopholes that we still have to fix when it comes to balancing both sides and to bring inclusivity when it comes to AI?
While there is a constant effort from the government of India is there to drive such kind of a participation, I do not say no to the condition that there are loopholes. There are certain loopholes. Still, there are certain villages across India which lack internet access. So, there are some of the industry bodies which are coming forward, which is trying to set up the community networks, which is helping the address the digital divide problem in situation, but not completely done, but a way to go. Probably few years from now, 3 or 5 years, we may see a huge transformation in the journey and bring back those people onto the internet. So participating and getting them onto the league of using the IT ecosystem really make a big way for them. So there are loopholes, but we can fix.
Now, let's also talk about how AI is almost taking over everything. We can give one prompt, and as you said, we can get an image, we can get a video, we can get everything. So, are these replacing the computer features that we used to use as a kid? Like MS Paint was one thing we all as a student loved to do. Besides coding and everything that we were told to do, MS Paint was my favorite feature that had in the computer. So, do you think that learning thing, that curiosity, we are losing, we're not reaching that? The kids this generation are missing out on that.
Now you treat like AI is like a paintbrush in the hand of a kid. It is allowing you to apply your creativity in giving the right prompts to draw that particular images. It's not that you give a prompt and image gets drawn, but not necessarily that image is according to your vision. So you need to translate your vision into a prompt, and the prompt need to get you that. So that subtle changes of iterations where your creativity and originality can be unlocked when you apply with that consistency. And I would say that AI is like a tool which is augmenting your creativity. It's not replacing your creativity.
That's beautiful, because many people think that, oh my god, AI is replacing so many things. AI is replacing jobs, AI is replacing creativity. But when you say this, that no, it is just a tool to enhance what you already have, already know. So, is it okay for school system or administration to incorporate AI or teaching AI, prompt engineering, very early, like when we start computer science courses in school, at the same time?
Absolutely. In fact, I would definitely encourage all the schools. In fact, from the student level, now, the way you induct your teaching, today the practices are all about rote learning, right? You by heart certain things, go and apply the things. But if you really want to bring out the creativity in the student, it's important to enhance and embrace new technologies for them. While you are doing so, you should also talk about certain important things of responsible AI, which often gets ignored. We talk about ethics, we talk about bias. So we need to teach them a technology when you're trying to bring to the table the implications of the technology. So if you can talk to them on the deep fakes and not get influenced. If you can really talk to them about some of the news during the election process, what happens, and people get biased with that kind of an opinion, not necessarily you should believe it. So whatever the tools are there, or the output of that particular tools, you should not blindly believe it. Apply critical thinking. So I would encourage people, students in the school or teachers need to focus on building and teaching the material associated to AI in ethics, AI for responsibility, and also tell them what is good in that entire journey, what is not good. The implications are something which we need to impart. Then, when students are aware of that, you should also embrace telling them, develop the critical thinking. You get an output, use your thinking to validate that it's true or not. Don't blindly believe. Question it. Iterate with your AI. So today there is a huge concept which is going, chat GPT or any other tools which are using, it's like a UI of AI. Now when you're saying UI of AI, what does that mean is you're using that particular interface to interact, and while interacting you may get certain responses, you consume it, but don't consume it blindly. Apply critical thinking, validate it and believe it. Today the only difference is people who validate and believe, they'll be able to gracefully manage it. But people who do not validate and just believe, then there is a problem because you get biased in your views. I encourage students to tackle that piece. At a student level, if you can address it, you are in a good hands.
And it is very true that you said, because if we start teaching that very early on, they'll also know what not to do when it comes to AI.
Correct.
Because if you'll hide them, if you'll wait for very late in the life, they will not know, okay, this was not right, this was wrong. Because as soon as I learned about AI and how it was growing, suddenly there was deep fake. It was everywhere. We were covering that on news channels, and we were just gotten handy of Chat GPT. And why we were still trying to learn something from Chat GPT, or trying to get use of it, there was deep fake thrown on our faces, and we're like, what is this? You can do that too? Because not many of us knew, oh, that is something you can do. And that's a very wrong way of using AI, right? So if we were taught very early on, like our generation did not, but now if we incorporate that into very early on in the school, maybe they'll know this is right, do's of AI and don'ts of AI.
Yeah. So AI in ethics, ethical AI, these are some of the important concepts we need to constantly teach students. Then I believe they will be having a right way of using the prompt engineering methods and consume the content which is coming out.
Also, because nowadays even my friends, I know people who go to Chat GPT for their problems rather than going to friend or a parent. They will simply go to AI and say, why does this happen to me, even when they go through a heartbreak or something. Do you think that that is something that should be not done? We are taking AI a little too far.
I embrace that.
You embrace that?
Yeah, embrace that, because there's nothing wrong in using the tools to get to the answers. But what I would also request them to look at it is, when it is producing the answers, look at the procedure, apply the rationale behind it. What is the thinking model behind it? As long as you understand the thinking model, the way it has able to produce that particular answer, you are in a good path. The explainable AI tries to address that particular concept. So today, even if you take in a IT sector, we encourage people to use code assistants, we encourage people to use GPT models to accelerate our work. The productivity is what matters. But what we also encourage them is, you should have the ability to explain how you have arrived at that. If you cannot provide that thinking model, it becomes a challenge. Hence, students who are using ChatGPT, please go ahead and use the ChatGPT to produce the answer, but create a thinking model how that answer is arrived. Once you know that meaning, then you really understand the power of AI. Today, people use AI because it is available, but what is going beyond the scenes, nobody knows. A single prompt, when you're trying to query, you don't know what is the implications of how much compute power it is consuming. You really don't know what is the power it is consuming. You really don't know what is the kind of a energy it is producing, the carbon which is producing. So understanding those implications are also very, very critical. At tender age, at a school level, if you try to teach them, they really understand the importance of it.
But do you not think if we teach them, like there's a, with a pro, I think there's a con also. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Because when we teach them AI very early on, will they not rush for other subjects problems or other homeworks?
Indeed, I should say that you should teach them AI in biology, AI in social, AI in science, AI in mathematics. You should understand that how this particular artificial intelligence can be embedded as part of each subject. So the implications of the science, how AI can help you to understand the better applications of the science is important. How it is good for the social good life, how it is applying and helping you to decode the DNA analysis. All these things, now you will need to have a clarity. So most of the times, what happens is, teachers cannot offer you a personalized experience of teaching. You are at some level, your friend could be at some level, and most of the times teacher has got a uniform way of teaching to all the 70-80 students participating, but giving examples under which they can understand may be difficult. So under that circumstance, if teacher is not able to give a direct window of time for him to ask questions, where he can go and ask? Models are good available to give that kind of a candid examples for them to understand it better. So what is the problem in understanding much deeper? But whatever you are understanding, you replay that to your teacher and say that this is what I have inferred. Is that a correct understanding? So students, when you use it, when you consume it, replay with your teachers, then it will really help you to balance it.
Right. Because from which generation I come from, AI was not there. And if I was stuck in one math problem, I was continuously redoing it, repracticing it. And that's what we were told to do, try. But now I think if we teach them they will quickly rush to the AI and they will type the question, say, give me the answer.
You are saying type the question. I would say they are photographing the question. Take the image of the question, put into the model.
Exactly, that's in fast.
They don't even type the question.
Even though it is time saving, the process is not lengthy as before, but we were using our brains to
Yeah,
the output. And when the answer used to match, it was the happiest moment.
obviously.
So that tiny moment,
That excitement is gone.
Yeah.
You definitely see that excitement is gone. But what I would say is you can bring back that excitement using the tools to do something at a scale. So today, without any tool, if you are able to complete 10 questions in a typical window, with a tool, you may complete 100 questions. So the speed and scale is important factors today under which you are trying to operate. So the complexity of the problems are quite high. Sometimes you know, sometimes you don't know. Understanding the complexities, understanding the decision processes, that requires a tool as an aid. So that's what I'm saying now. You should use that as a kind of a virtual teacher which is helping you to answer the responses in a right manner. So not necessarily a physical teacher is available with you all the time, but use it as a virtual teacher to
not heavily rely on it.
don't rely, but always question. I need more clarity. I need more explanation. Just like you question to your teacher, question the machine.
What I'm also worried about is it is also taking away the interpersonal personal communication or time that we share, because we already live in a digital world where we have very limited time with our loved ones.
Hmm.
Like if I have a problem and I do not go to my father, which I used to do earlier, and if ChatGPT has all the answers, and also because if I think, okay, this will, if I go to ChatGPT, maybe my father will not be worried that I'm dealing with something.
Hmm.
Even though that is one way of thinking, but that the time that I had with my father is gone suddenly. So that is something also worries me.
It's a concern. It's a valid concern, I would say. But you should understand today's generation is like more of a digital natives people call, who might be transforming into AI native because they are using such kind of a tools. But when you're trying to deal with them, you try to embrace that kind of a culture. So teach them with the reels. Nothing wrong talking to them with the reels, and nothing wrong in using their tooling ecosystem to touch their lives. So when you start putting yourself into their shoes, you behave like them. So when they cannot come to you, you approach. So as a parent, I normally do the same because I see that a decade ago, when they want my time, I was not giving. When I need my need their time, they are not giving. This is what the parent-child relationship always all about. So today, I voluntarily go to my kids, spend time with them, even though they say that I need privacy, but I wanted to spend 10-15 minutes at least to touch what they're trying to do and help them understanding what is the new things which are happening in my area, and try to understand from them what they're trying to do. So it's kind of a very, very casual conversation, just like a friend rather than a father and a kid. So being a friend is always a best choice rather than maintaining the father-kid relationship.
Are you Instagram friends with your kids?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Do you share reels?
I don't create reels, but I like the reels.
Do you share with them something that you find funny? I'm like, okay, my kids will enjoy this.
I do. I do share on a regular basis, but not as often as every day. Probably in the weekends, whatever I found very, very interesting, I'll try to share it with them. But that's the best way to get connected.
Are you on Instagram more often?
I'm not.
Because next question is, whether you have seen or not, but there are AI videos of Mumtaz Mahal complaining about Shah Jahan. So do you think that AI is also tweaking history a bit, just in a fun way? I love, because it's funny how Mumtaz is complaining. I did not even want the Taj Mahal. I don't know why he made it.
This is something you can consider it as a originality or creativity of some individual who's trying to look differently. It's a different lens you try to wear and try to create. Just like a filmmakers do it now, they are very, very creative people in the world who imagine something which is unimaginable. Here's something which you are trying to imagine certain things which is non-imaginable. You have not seen Mumtaz, you have not seen Shah Jahan, but you are still envisaging those particular characters and trying to create some kind of a dialogue between them. Fantastic. That's a true unlocking of the creativity with the power of AI. So just enjoy for the fun and entertainment purpose, but not consume it in the real manner.
So how can we define creativity and originality when such things happen?
Fantastic questions. I would say Today, if you're trying to ask creativity something, you're trying to think new, something generating the new ideas. I would say that in AI world, generating new ideas and iteratively improving your ideas with the prompt and associated GPT tools is also considered as a creativity. There's nothing wrong. And originality is not always something that's something new, but you're trying to package from the existing ones and creating a new flavor. That also becomes a originality. So look into the dimensions that not generating the new ideas, but generating new ideas or new things with the aid of the tool also could be considered as a creativity. And packaging the new themes, new flavors with the available ingredients also can be considered as the originality. So both are possible. Not necessarily it need to be manual, it can be aided through AI, and I would encourage people to leverage it. Don't separate it, but they can need to work together.
So, do you think since this generation is growing up with AI, they are more better, I'd say, not really, but better when it comes to the generation which was not growing to generate a prompt or create something that's new, that was not just like how I said that Mumtaz Mahal. We never thought of making something like that, but it's a fresh perspective. What if Mumtaz really did not want that Taj Mahal? She wanted more time from her partner, but instead of doing that, he was building a monument. Exactly. So, do you think that they are being more creative because they are growing up with AI?
Obviously, they are very, very creative. Many kids are very creative. In fact, I do try to mentor some of the startups. So, my son also has a startup. So, I was trying to spend some time with him to understand how he's trying to work with his team and how he's trying to develop his solutions. I was very, very surprising to see that how startup entrepreneurs are thinking today to accelerate the work. The creativity is all about how you embrace the tools to accelerate and improve your efficiency, improve your productivity, develop certain things in a very short span of time. And what they do is he has an idea, takes that idea, puts into a GPT, say that this is my idea, generate me a project requirements document.
Hmm.
Instantly you get the document. Now you take the document and he says that, okay, now use another AI tool. Say that now you take this tool and generate with a work breakdown structure. It generates. You take the work breakdown structure, it is another AI tool, eraser.io, I would say. It asks for generating the architecture and design diagrams. It generates. You take that output, submit to Devin AI, and say that now this is my work breakdown structure, this is my architecture, develop the code for me. It develops the code, it develops the test cases, it deploys your code, validates it, checks that into your GitHub, generates the documentation, everything is ready. Now, once it is ready, you say that this is my entire code base, running code available. Now, you shares that particular piece of an idea translated into the code base in a piece of mail. All these things happens in 40 minutes,
It is
which
fast.
generally you would have taken almost like 3-4 weeks. But speed under which these tools are helping you to accompany your idea to the mainstream, execution is important. So startups are really embracing AI. If you are doing in that way, it only helps you to access the marketplace very faster. So one of the instant I've seen, one of the startup was trying to see that they went ahead and demonstrated their solution to one of the company. And the company executives looked into that and said, we need 2-3 features here. If you can help us, then I'll be ready to buy it. Then they went with that particular feature sets. Next day, those 3 features were implemented. I'm not saying that it's fully tested, but at least from a demo standpoint, it is available to consume. What does that mean? The speed under which you are able to revert back. Now, executives were completely surprised because they were thinking that for these 3 features to develop, at least it would take a couple of months. But these people were able to turn it around within 24 hours. So it's a kind of a situation you need to really understand. Today, game is changed. And EA is one of the game changer in this world, and whoever is able to utilize AI in the right way, they'll be able to march forward very, very fast.
Right. Now, since you mentioned your son also has a startup, does he come to you for advice or you also go to him to learn something? Because you say that he also generates everything in 40 minutes he creates. So, how is that bond like?
I have never seen he asking me anything.
Hmm.
बोलते हैं ना घर की दाल
घर की मुर्गी
घर की
दाल.
मुर्गी दाल बराबर, something of that nature. Poor joke from that end. But so generally, sons always want mentors from outside. They do not want get biased with their father's advice, which is correct. So I have encouraged my son to speak to my friends rather than me. So that way they get a very neutral view of what they want to do. But I obviously wanted to check what he's trying to do, what kind of tools they're using.
So you overlook his work?
I don't oversee, but I try to learn. There's nothing wrong learning from the people, and learning can be done from anywhere. So I try to learn, I try to see how they are applying, I try to pick up some of the good things which they are trying to do. I try to share, whether they are listening or not, I try to share that what is the thing happening across the world, so they can really look at experimenting it. Some of the tools which I mentioned, he was experimenting, which is good. But I try to learn. It's not more of giving the feedback, it's more of absorbing the work.
And are you biased towards his work, or which is because you mentioned that I rather want him to go to my friends than come to me? So is it because you will have that father biasness towards his work?
Even you agree or not, it will be there. That is the reason I just wanted to avoid to say always the concern will be if your son is trying to do a startup as a father, you will be always worried whether he'll be able to make up his career or not. That cause of a worry is there. But I am trying to say that every father should allow their son or daughter to explore their passion. If you really help them in their journey, they will be successful. And we should not create hurdles for them, but we need to be creating a path for them to achieve the success. And I am just trying to create the path.
When it comes to AI, even government of India is trying to build a safe space for everyone, like AI for all. They have this Diksha and Swam AI tools.
Right.
So do you think that this is also a step forward when it comes to AI? Because even government of India knows how important this technology is. Because even the global leaders have adapted it, and if we don't do it now, maybe we'll be far behind.
Before I speak about Diksha and the Swayam, we should also speak about Bhashini. You might have heard about it.
I have heard of us.
So, Bhashini is one of the important initiative taken by Government of India to provide the language dialects available in massive 24 languages. It could be scaling much more. And I would say that that's one of the best innovation happened in India after UPI. Because this addresses the digital divide. Ability for people not only consume the content, but consume the content in their local native languages is important, because they will be able to connect easily. One before Diksha and Swami, I also want to give one more interesting example, which happens in Japan and Germany. The people who are good innovators are coming from Switzerland, Japan, Germany, primarily because they get taught in their native language, not in English. So when you get taught in your native language, you have an ability to think beautifully, consume the technology beautifully, and your processing time is very
Without
less.
that barrier.
Correct. And they will be able to do wonders, innovate wonders, bring a lot of innovation to the context. And in India, we get biased. Bhashin is trying to address that concern. You will be taught in your native language, and language should not be the barrier. Now, coming to the Diksha is like a digital infrastructure for the knowledge sharing. The intent of the Diksha is trying to provide that entire infrastructure capability for even the rural segment of the people to consume the content. And that's one of the important steps Government of India has taken. Second, Swayam, right from the kindergarten to the PG level courses, every piece of the content is available there. Means I don't know how many people know what Swayam is. It's a study web for the uh, young and aspirants for the active learning. And so if you are really leveraging those courses, you are able to get the required credits which you can translate as part of the National Education Policy 2.0. So the intent is you need to learn beyond your regular course curriculum, because every university has a specific courses which has been curated and say these are the courses for you to get the credit, but nothing stops you to learn outside your curriculum. So leverage Diksha, leverage this particular Swayam to embrace that. Now within the Diksha, Swayam, Bhashini, this is a powerful combination which is really driving the change and really driving the change in the digital divide. There are societies like Internet Society, which is trying to develop the community networks and focusing on connecting the unconnected initiative and addressing the digital divide, leveraging these elements.
So digital literacy is equally as important as AI literacy and vice versa.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Digital literacy is very important, but reaching to the unreached people is important.
Yeah, because inclusivity, if we don't do that, then there's no point moving forward with the technology. If not every person in this country is on the same page when it comes to technological developments.
Yeah, as you all know that India is huge with the young population, and if this young population are not getting the right introduction to the technology and the right platform for them to explore, they are not underprivileged. We are losing the right and bright minds. It's a loss for the country, and the country is trying to address that with the Digital India initiatives. Digital India you call, Viksit Bharat you call, Make in India you call. All these elements are trying to address that piece.
Speaking of young minds, have you come across, because you are in the pool of such young people with brilliant ideas, have you ever come across someone whose perspective has just broadened how you saw technology or how you used to see AI? Because you have been in this field for so long. And if suddenly someone comes up and like, oh, that's a nice way to look at things. That's very broadened. I could have come up with it too, but I like how you showed it to me. Did you ever come across some young mind like that?
There are many because I've been to some of the project expos which are done in the colleges, and I've been as a jury member for some of the hackathons which happens. So we normally see such kind of a young minds thinking creativity hatke, and but what I believe is if this young minds are trying to address the problems of a social cause, and if it can address to a global scale, that would be fantastic.
One AI project that really, really wowed you.
So one of the project is, you know, this kids falling into that boring tunnels, right? The holes which gets and kid falls in, and it takes 5 6 days to dig and bring out. So there was an idea which has been given out in one of the college, that a small device which can really go down deeper to 120 150 feet or 200 feet also, a small robo which has got a light, which has got a sensor, and it can go down, detect, not only detect, but it has got the levers to pull the kid up. And it could vary, means carry around 15 to 20 kgs. This is an idea which has been propelled there. It's a kind of an important social cause addressing the concern.
It is.
The second important thing which I have witnessed, where I saw people really thinking little hatke, is converting drainage water into a drinking water. Fantastic thought process. But if you can make it real at a scale, you will really transforming India and making the people. There are a lot of people in rural India still has a problem getting the right water. We can address that concern as well. But bringing those innovation to the scale is also equally important.
And also, I think it is expensive.
No, not necessary. See, anything, if you try to commercialize at a scale, productionize at a scale, your expenses comes down drastically. So you know that when the mobile phones were launched, how expensive were they? Now, when the consumption has gone up,
Yeah.
when it is trying to reach to so many people who are consuming,
The demand supply.
yeah, when supply is high, demand is also equally high, production is at a high, your cost per unit will reduce. When the cost per unit reduces, fantastic it is. You can understand how many systems of drainage are there and how can you really do. And there was also another innovation which is currently there. You create a drinking water from the air, moisture. In fact, you can see such devices and some of the startups running in that space.
It's already happening.
Already happening.
When you come across these, it really make you feel I am at a right place. I am doing a right thing. Do you feel that?
Obviously, it's so exciting to see such kind of innovations happening for a social cause, social good. And you, when you witness, you feel that you are privileged. But only I see it as a problem is government of India as part of Viksit Bharat. We need to think at a scale. Innovation at a scale is equally important. So there are so many startups which are triggering that. If we can help them with the right funds through the accelerator programs, adult tinkering labs, or any other means, they will really make a wonders to the nation. And we need to really help them. And I really urge government to support that and make that funds available to the right people in the right ways. Today they've struggled to get the funds through the VCs, but if government can offer them in the right path, they're running some of the accelerator programs, but is it getting to the real people? I don't know.
We have the resource.
We have the resource, we have the ecosystem,
We
we
just need a
just
little
need to
funding.
funding. They can make wonders.
When you go to certain college programs or hackathons, you must also be asked questions. And have you come across someone or a question that you felt was wow? Has it happened? Like, that's the right question to ask when it comes to AI.
No, I mean, getting a lot of questions that whether my jobs will be there or not, career losses are going to happen because of the AI. That's a common question we are getting. But one question which popped up in my mind, popped up recently when I visited one of the college, is a student was asking, it's not about the job, sir. It's all about how do I continuously learn to adapt to the new technologies which are emerging. Because today, whatever I learn, that is becoming a skill of commodity which is already available. I need to relearn. So I need to unlearn, learn, unlearn, and learning is a kind of a continuous process. Is that something I need to do for my entire life? Answer is yes. You need to do it for your entire life because the technology is exponentially evolving. And when such kind of a technology is evolving exponentially, you need to understand and embrace that. And that requires you to have a continuous focus what is happening in the trend. So you just need to incrementally update your knowledge, but not stop there. As long as you do that, that will really play a big change in your game plan. And coming to the replacement of the jobs, I've been always telling the one particular statement to everyone: AI is not going to replace your jobs. AI is only going to provide the required aid and augment your jobs to transform and do the things better. It will only replace the jobs of the people who are not using AI. So person who is using AI can replace the job of the person who is not using the AI. That is only concern, underlining the statement. But from the career standpoint, if your students and young minds are really looking at, you should continuously learn and adapt. I'll just also to give you one more interesting example. The co-founder of OpenAI, Andrew Karpathy, probably in February, he just tweeted one line, and it's all about vibe coding. So people were surprised, what is this vibe coding? People were trying to explore these vibe coding practices, and within 4 months, umpteen number of products were released in vibe coding. The magic of vibe coding has enhanced so much. Today, you can prompt and build an application. What I mean to say is, I want to say that I want to build a human resource management system application with XYZ features. And you can also add any other features if required. You just give that prompt. It builds a full length application available with the source code available, integrated to your GitHub. One prompt, that's
All
enough
it
for you to
takes.
build it.
One
People can
prompt.
explore tools like Retool, Lovable Dev, Cursor AI, some of the prominent tools. There are more than 20 such tools available in the marketplace today. You can explore free of cost right now. Within 4 months, such kind of tools are emerged. People have never dreamt about it. February, now it is July. See, 5 months, productionized tools are available. Have you seen any kind of a tool getting into production within five
So
months? So quick. At such scale, may not be possible, but with AI, it is possible.
right. I'd also want to know from you what, which sector or which industry you think is making the best use of AI.
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Uh, Even though there are many sectors, I am strongly connected to the healthcare because I'm trying to mentor some of the projects in that space in my individual personal capacity. So that's one particular sector embracing AI to a greater level. In fact, I was addressing a set of doctors, around 200 doctors who was witnessing me, visiting to me in a recent talk uh, on AI in healthcare. So AI is currently applied in every department of uh, healthcare departments. You take it radiologists, it can analyze, interpret your images, and give you the complete analysis of that particular report. And it also tells you if there is a kind of anomalies which it is trying to detect. These are the areas what you may need to have a closer attention. If your history is already trained to it with your like-minded patients getting the treatment, it can also suggest the treatment plan at a radiologist level. Cardiology department you take, they're able to start detecting any kind of a cardiovascular diseases, and it will help you to detect the different parts of your coronary arteries and tell you what is going wrong. So there is a number of doctors who are there who are now becoming AI savvy, I would say. You take Yashoda hospitals, AIG, uh, Apollo, they are all now becoming AI native hospitals. In fact, Adani just announced about AI native hospitals to be launched soon. Probably today only I heard about it in the news. It's an indication that how well they are embracing AI into the healthcare.
So AI is everywhere.
Everywhere.
We cannot escape it.
You cannot escape. You need to embrace it. That's what I would say. Embrace it.
Embrace it. Coming back to the students or young minds, while we talk about the pros, what are the cons of exposing AI? The hidden risks? Are there any kind of burnout?
Yeah, burnout is the right word to use, but I would say that if you are using any kind of a device or a tool excessively, you get burned out. But the hidden risk is all about blindly believing it without having any kind of a critical thinking applied on the result or outcome of what AI is trying to produce. I do not want any student or young mind to believe what tools are giving you. Validate, apply your critical thinking, apply your creative thinking to see whether it is producing the way you want it. Your desire is more important than what is the output what tool is offering. And as long as your desire is not fulfilled, you keep improvising your prompt to get to the desire. And once a desire is fulfilled, then validate that it is unique, that is what it is expected. Get the validation done through the right sources that will help you to believe in the entire outcome. So the risk is bias element is there. You have different levels of bias. It could be the data bias, information bias, likewise. Similarly, there unethical uh, hallucination is there, where you can start believing in what you're not supposed to believe. So these are the elements which you need to really counter. NASCOM has released the responsible AI policies and controls. I would encourage young minds to take a look at it. What is this responsible AI is? Get educated on that. If you are able to educate on the responsible AI, you will be truly unlocking the risks. You will be able to manage this particular entire AI ecosystem, navigate the entire AI ecosystem much better than ever.
As someone so seasoned in this industry, are you somebody who enjoys being part of that innovation or creative process, or do you enjoy more imparting that knowledge to young minds?
I enjoy both because I keep teaching a lot, because I strongly believe when you teach, you will be able to learn better things. You will be able to articulate the things with more conviction. You will be able to discover some of the new things, examples, because you need to go to the level of the student who need to understand. I deliver talks to the professionals and also to the students, but both the ways I need to communicate a different wavelength and different examples will really resonate well. So I teach that. Innovation is part of my day-to-day job function, and I enjoy that as well.
Is there a way where we can make students the collaborator rather than the consumer of AI?
Mhm. There is absolutely a need. Today, I would say that I always say that it's a three-step approach under which you try to operate AI. First, you try to take the assistance of AI. Second, you try to augment the AI. Third, you try to leverage AI to transform the things. Assist, augment, and transform. So, when you are trying to take AI as an assistant, it's like a consultant which is trying to help you with some kind of an advisory service or inputs which you can really take. Whether you take it or not, it depends upon you. It's a consultant, it is advising, you take it on the merit. When you augment, you are offloading some of the work. That is where the true collaboration comes. There are certain things you do, there are certain things AI can do. So, say for instance, you are providing the instruction. Now, I told about here is my idea. Translate this idea into code base. AI is trying to take the job of a developer as a collaborator to work for you. So, you use AI as a developer, AI as a writer, AI as a business analyst, AI as a test engineer. Different collaboration avatars you can leverage to achieve your job function. So
Rather than being just consumers of it.
yeah, so but ensuring that collaboration happens. Collaboration, when you say, it's like you ask something, it produces something, you validate something, you again give the feedback. It's a human in the loop. So when you try to drive that human in the loop, where continuous improvement can happen on the overall outcome, that's where the true collaboration comes.
Make it your partner rather than owner.
Absolutely. And consumption means it is producing and you're consuming without any further improvements. I don't want such kind of a behavior to be there. It should be continuously improvised.
Right. I would also want to know from you, what do you think is the most underrated AI innovation that has happened in the last decade or so? What do you think is overrated or viral trends we know? Or was that one underrated innovation that you felt this did not get its due credit? It did so much, but it was not highlighted.
It did so much, but it does not highlight it. Very interesting question, but nothing comes on top of my head right now to give you that kind of a fact. Underrated. But today, government of India is putting all possible efforts to ensure that the limelight is given to all the innovations which are happening. But across the world, when you're trying to look at AI, I don't see such kind of a behavior pattern where some of the innovation is not made visible. There are certain categories, dare to try categories, I would say, where we have tried out, it did not worked out in the initial stages, but later people started embracing it.
It has been such a insightful conversation, but before we part, I want to know how AI is going to shape the digital India for young minds in coming years, and how do you see AI changing your personal journey in coming years?
So today, if I see that digital India, Viksit Bharat, changing the young minds, I see this outlook has to be very, very bright with the public, private, people partnership models, what is getting emerged across government, central government and state governments. People are really leveraging AI as a tool and introducing this particular tool as part of day-to-day functions. That is from the social angle. But as a board of studies member in several engineering colleges, I was also trying to educate a thought that we are teaching subjects. We are teaching subjects on computational thinking. We are teaching subjects on algebra, calculus, linear algebra, calculus, which are important subjects. But I'm emphasizing the fact, try to teach them the applications of AI in healthcare, AI in manufacturing. So when you are trying to say that I want an engineering student certified in data science, certified engineer or AI engineer or robotics engineer, I would say that I want people to be certified as AI in healthcare specialist, AI in manufacturing specialist, because bottom line is they go back to the industry, try to work out solutions for that particular industry, augmenting that business domain knowledge in that space and utilizing AI to solve the critical problems can really play an important role. And young minds require mentorship, and that mentorship can only come with the industry and academia collaboration. And when you partner with the industry experts or mentors and continuously nurture what is happening in the industry and give them the outside in view, these people are nurtured in such a way that they will be the future of India or future of Viksit Bharat, what we want to call, or they will be able to pave the way for our vision of $30 billion economy by 2047. And coming to the question of my personal journey in AI, so I see that today I'm focusing on not only AI in my innovation work to the customers, but I also see that AI need to be embraced as part of our talent development. Talent is something which is not only part of Indian education system, but also the corporate training, also corporate training methods. Bringing that culture of AI in driving such kind of a instant understanding about tooling and code assistance and how it can be applied to accelerate their work is very, very critical. And that requires a cultural mindset shift. First is we are trying to address the culture of acceptance of using the tools. Second is mindset shift in embracing the tools. So in my personal JG, I'm trying to be an advocate to drive that kind of a cultural change and mindset shift. And I'm enjoying it. And that plays a very important role in the growth of any particular company.
Right. Thank you so much. One last thing. Do you think future of India is in right hands when you see all the young minds around you trying to build, trying to learn, and embrace AI right from its center, right from its core?
It is a double sword question, I would say. So I would say yes, absolutely, it is in the right hands, but with a caution. The reason is, while young minds are really embracing such kind of a tooling, they need to be aware of the ethical AI practices. The more they do it, and they're able to put into practice and remove that hallucination, remove that self-biasness, bring in that explainability AI, bring the trustworthy nature of building the solutions which can be accepted by the society, I'll be strongly believe they could make a big difference. We are in safe hands, and if we can start imparting AI education from the root level of schools and take it to the next level at colleges and universities, we make a big change, and that is needed towards our Vikasit Bharat.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. You heard that, young minds. Practice AI, embrace it, but ethically. That is the core of this entire conversation. AI is the next big thing, but we only have to use it ethically. And that's the only way to follow it. Thank you so much. That was Mr. Bala Prasad with us. Thank you so much for this beautiful
Thank you.
conversation. We loved having you here. And stay tuned to the Hans India for more such podcasts on AI and technology. This is Gyanisha, Labh, Mallick. Until next time, thanks for watching.